Hello everyone, Morgan here, and today we're going to be looking at integrating with your accounting package. So what we're looking at today is in the context of the Xero integration. However, it's worth noting that the way these accounting integrations behave, just as many of the integrations in Halo, follows a similar structure and similar procedure. So let's jump in. So the first place that we want to go to is into our configuration area, and then from there we can scroll down to our integrations section towards the bottom of the screen. Now this is a list of all of the integrations that are available within HaloPSA and have been built first party. And if we search for Xero, we can find the integration here. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is enable the module, which we can do in the top right. So we'll get that enabled. And then from here, we have our first sort of defaults screen. So the Xero integration is multi-tenanted, allowing you to connect multiple instances of Xero to HaloPSA, and we can connect those from the Xero tenant section here. So we can see that I've already connected this tenant, but the connection process is very straightforward. If I click New, we'll see that we can provide this tenant a name. This is just a friendly name that we can see throughout HaloPSA, and then a Connect button down below, where you'll be redirected to the Xero login screen. Log in with your details, and away you go. Step back. Now, as with all of our accounting integrations, the first thing that we're going to want to do is import our data from our accounting package into HaloPSA. This is going to allow Halo to understand the respective tax rates, accounts codes, customers, products, suppliers, that we need to push over to our accounting package. So the first thing that we want to do is import all of that data, and then we'll talk about what happens subsequent to that in a moment. Now, the way that the tabs have been set up in the Xero integration and across all of our integrations is somewhat deliberate, meaning that what you want to do is you want to go through your tabs and import your data accordingly. So first thing we'll do is we will import our tax rates. And our 26 tax rates from Xero have come in. And we'll go through and we'll import all of our data. So this is us importing our accounts codes, our customers. Now what we can see with our customers is we actually get presented the import preview screen. So I can go ahead and just plug away at that. I won't go through every single one for now, but you understand the process. You click start, you leave it, you let everything import, and then you can close this out. So we'll carry on importing our products. For our products here, we have the option to specify a product group. So my advice here would be to start off by creating a product group in HaloPSA for our Xero products. That's going to place everything into a centralized group or a centralized category inside of Halo. And from there, we can start moving products to the respective groups that they should be assigned to within Halo. But you may find that you have some legacy products in Xero that you don't want to bring into Halo. So a good place to keep things tidy to start with would be to create a new product group and place all of those into that group. Now to do that, we can just simply head over to our products module. And when we're looking at our groups here, all I need to do is right click on the list and I can create a new group here. So let's call this Xero products. This is only going to be used for items. We're not using this for assets. Save that. So now when I go back to my Xero configuration, and I go to my products, that group, Xero products, is available for us. Same again, we're presented with the import preview screen. You'll see here as well that we can bulk select or bulk unselect products. So you can be quite deliberate in terms of what you are actually importing, or if you want to bring everything in, you can go ahead and click start. Same for suppliers. And same process follows there. Cool, so once you've imported all of your data, the next tab that you'll want to consider is the syncing to Xero tab. So on here, we can select the entities that we want to sync over to Xero when they are created from Halo. An important aspect of our accounting integrations is that the importing of data such as customers, products, suppliers is a manual process. So we manually import our data here, but the exporting of those same objects, the same customers, products, invoices, of course, all happens immediately. So the idea is you set your accounting integration up, you import all of your data so that you now have all of your customers, products, accounts codes, tax rates inside of Halo. And then moving forward from that moment, we manage our customers, we manage our products from inside of Halo. That way, when we create a customer record in Halo, they are immediately created in Xero, and I don't have to worry about coming back into the Xero configuration and re-importing customers or importing customers if they have been created in Xero to start with, for example. So here, we'll select customers, products, and invoices. Now, you'll notice that this is a multi-select, so at the minute I haven't selected suppliers, purchase orders, bills, or credit notes. And what that means is if I were to create a supplier inside of Halo, it will not attempt to create that supplier inside of Xero. So of course, depending on the scope of the integration to start with, if you only want to be syncing customer invoices and associated entities, namely customers and products, then we can leave our entities to sync as just these three for now. Below that, we have an option to specify whether or not we want to see a message when a sync has been successfully made to Xero. I would advise when first starting with the integration to enable this option, because that is going to give you full visibility of everything that goes over to Xero. You'll always get a message if a sync to Xero has failed for whatever reason, but with this option selected, you also get a pop-up when the sync is successful. Below, we have some options against our suppliers and customers, which is basically saying, look at the active or inactive status of our customers/suppliers in Halo and reflect that appropriately in Xero. So again, customers can be made inactive in Halo, as can suppliers. And it might be that when you do that in Halo, you want to archive the customer in Xero or archive the supplier in Xero. And that's characterized by this checkbox. Cool. Now below, we just have some default values for invoices, purchase orders, credit notes, etc. The idea here is these are used as catch-alls. So you can imagine the setup such that you import all of your products into Halo. So now, if I go and look at my products and I go to my Xero products group, we don't see anything. Let's have a look at why that might be. So let's hop back over to our Xero configuration. Let's go to our products tab, and I forgot to select Xero products. So let's make sure that we actually have that selected. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to import my products here. So let's try that again. So go ahead. Everything's getting imported now. So go back here, go to our group, and there's our Xero products. Now, some core details from Xero: the income account, the expense account, associated tax codes, etc., the product ID itself, we can see have all landed in the billing tab for the product in question. So all of those core values against your products in Xero have been brought over to Halo, such that when you invoice for this product in Halo, Xero knows exactly what you're invoicing. Now, it may be the case that you have products in Xero or in Halo that have not synced between respective platforms, and that is what our default values are for. So if we hop back over to our Xero config and go to our syncing to Xero tab, we can see we have our default item code for purchase orders, for credit notes, for invoices just above as well. And this is saying if we create an invoice, a purchase order, a credit note in Halo and attempt to sync that to Xero, but the product on the invoice has not been synced, well, Xero won't know what product code to use, in which case we set our default here. So these are simply catch-all values. And then there's some more miscellaneous settings below around whether or not we want to group our rounding adjustments, whether or not we want to sync groups on invoices or not. And again, just some further miscellaneous settings. Now, the next tab is our webhooks tab. So we can, in some restricted cases, allow for changes in our accounting package in Xero, in QuickBooks, to update respective entities inside of Halo. So, for example, with our Xero configuration, we allow for webhooks for clients being created or updated. So in this case, we can actually change our client details in Xero, and provided our webhooks are enabled here, those changes will be reflected in Halo. And of course, for invoices being created or updated. The most important is the invoice updated, as that is going to contain information against the payment status of an invoice. So the chances are the payment status is going to get updated in the accounting package, and you are going to want to reflect that inside of Halo. So for that, we can check this box. Cool. And then finally, we have our inbound and outbound request tabs. So this is effectively an audit of all of the requests to and from Xero regarding whatever it is that you're changing or creating. So let's go ahead and create an invoice and come back to our outbound request tab to see what happens. So there are a variety of ways to create invoices in HaloPSA. I would refer to the billing section of our academy or checking online to have a look at the different ways that invoices can be created. For this example, I'm going to follow arguably the most straightforward method of invoice creation. And I'm just going to go to the invoices module, click new, and create a new invoice just in here. So I'm going to select my customer, add a product in here, and let's pick a product from our Xero products group. Set my invoice date, save that. And let's hop back over to our Xero configuration, go to our outbound request tab, and now we can see an outbound request there for invoice created with a nice little tick denoting that the request to Xero was successful. Now, there are two main reasons why a sync of invoices or of purchase orders, credit notes, etc. There are two main reasons why that would fail. One would be that the accounting package, Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, Intact, does not recognize who the record is for, who the invoice is for, who the purchase order is for. And the other point of failure may be that the accounting package does not know what is on the invoice, what is on the record. So, looking at that first point, the accounting package doesn't know who the record is for. Well, in this case, we have an invoice, so we can go to our customer, where we have a billing tab, and we can see that we have this customer, Bank West, is linked to our respective Xero tenant, and furthermore, we can see their name here. So we can see that in this case, Xero recognizes who the invoice is for. Now, of course, I also imported this customer record directly from Xero, so one would hope that Xero would know who Bankwest is. As a little troubleshooting step, if a customer record, let's look at Acorn Construction, for example, has not been synced with our accounting package, we can pick our tenant here and we can add some trivial change to the customer, perhaps a space in the notes field. We can save that. And then we can take a look in our Xero configuration and see if that customer synced over. Now, I have a feeling in this case it didn't. And the reason for that, which again is another little gotcha, is Xero requires some core account details: first name, last name, email address. So if we hop back over to Acorn Construction, go to our billing tab. So if we specify accounts, first, last name, and email address, and then populate our Xero customer ID and save that, we'll see if we hop over to our Xero configuration, that we've got our contact created. Now, when first importing customer records from our accounting package into HaloPSA, we will check for existing matches based on name or accounts ID. If so, we'll update the existing customer record in Halo. If not, we will create a new customer. So that's our first gotcha. So if you have any errors syncing transactions, whether it's invoices, purchase orders, credit notes, bills, and the error pertains to not knowing who the record is for, go to the customer record, go to the supplier record. In the customer record, go to our billing tab and make sure that the details have been populated there. In our supplier record, go to the settings tab and check the billing header for respective information. Now, the next issue may be that our accounting package doesn't know what is on the record, doesn't know what lines to add. So for that, we would also want to revert to our billing tab, this time for our products instead of our customers. And again, we want to make sure that the details have been populated here. We've got our tenants. In the case of Xero, we've got our Xero product ID in here. Of course, this shouldn't be an issue if you set your catch-alls up in your Xero configuration. But if not, you might find errors regarding not knowing what lines are on the transaction. And so this is where you would go to check that. A couple of other points of consideration when integrating your accounts package. Firstly, if we go to our billing area of configuration and then into our tax rates, we will want to ensure that our tax rates in Halo are mapped to a tax rate in our accounting package. Again, you should be importing all of your tax rates from your respective accounting tool. However, if you already have tax rates inside of HaloPSA that have not been synced, you'll want to go ahead and manually set that mapping up for you. Cool. One last consideration point is around billing for labor. Now, again, I would advise checking out the billing course in the HaloPSA Academy to get a better understanding of how labor billing is performed inside of Halo. However, one key point relevant to accounting integrations is ensuring that your charge types in Halo map to respective products in your accounting tool. And to do that, we can go to Configuration, Billing, Charge Types, and we can specify that in this case, our remote support charge type is linked to our respective product in our accounting package. So you may have just a generic labor product in QuickBooks or in Xero. In that case, you would want to make sure that you have that mapped in here. That's been me, and we've taken a look at the Xero integration and have a better understanding of integrating our accounts package with HaloPSA now. Thanks for watching.